Hey folks, imagine waking up in 2026 and realizing your everyday life in California just got flipped upside down by an avalanche of new laws that could ban your favorite grocery bags, slash your solar savings, cap life-saving drug prices, and even dictate what your kids can eat at school. Stick around because I'm breaking down the wildest changes that might hit your wallet, your home, and your freedom harder than you think. And trust me, you won't believe how these could spark massive showdowns with the feds. If you're loving this deep dive into California's chaotic new rules, smash that subscribe button right now to never miss an update on how politics is reshaping your world. And drop a comment below letting me know which of these laws shocks you the most. Your thoughts could fuel our next video. All right, diving right in, let's talk about this escalating battle against plastic that's got everyone from shoppers to lawmakers fired up. Starting January 1, 2026, those handy, thicker plastic bags you've been grabbing at grocery stores, pharmacies, liquor spots, and convenience marts for just a dime are getting the boot entirely, forcing you to either bring your own reusable totes or shell out for paper ones that might not hold up as well. And get this, by 2028, those paper bags have to contain at least half recycled material to keep things eco-friendly. But if you're on food assistance programs, you're off the hook for that fee, which is a small win amid the hassle. Picture this, you're loading up your cart with heavy groceries like milk jugs and canned goods, and halfway to your car, a flimsy bag rips open, spilling everything. That's the nightmare some folks are dreading with these less sturdy options. But supporters argue it's all about ditching unnecessary single-use plastics that end up polluting oceans and landfills, stemming from a 2024 bill by Democratic State Senator Catherine Blakespear that closes a loophole from the 2016 voter-approved ban where bag makers just doubled the thickness to call them recyclable, yet hardly anyone actually recycled or reused them, leading to a big investigation by the state attorney general that slapped settlements on producers for false claims. Though Republicans pushed back, calling it overreach that inconveniences consumers without denting global pollution. And hey, those compostable produce bags in the veggie aisle, they're safe for now, so no changes there. But this is just the tip of the iceberg in California's green push.
Shifting gears to energy, 2025 was a roller coaster for renewable incentives, with massive protests stalling a state bill that would have hiked solar bills by tweaking net metering contracts. But the real gut punch comes federally as the 30% tax credit for new solar installations vanishes, wiping out a huge chunk of savings on systems that can run 20 to 30 grand, making it tougher for families to go green without breaking the bank. Neighbors in Nevada are already feeling the sting, and while California still offers some local perks depending on your area and income, you'll need to dig deep into research to snag them. Plus, there's zero word yet on reviving state EV rebates after Congress axed the $7,500 federal credit, though Governor Newsom hinted at stepping in, so keep an eye out for updates that could ease the pain for electric vehicle buyers. On the housing front, landlords are facing fresh mandates to ensure rental units come with functional stoves and fridges, building on existing requirements for basics like heat and hot water to make places truly livable. And if there's a manufacturer recall on those appliances, owners have just 30 days to fix or replace them, though tenants can opt to supply their own fridge with landlord approval, and exemptions apply to certain supportive housing setups, which aims to protect renters from subpar living conditions in a state where housing costs are sky high. Now, for a lifesaver in healthcare, diabetics are getting major relief as a new law caps insulin copays at $35 for a month's supply, starting January 1, 2026, for most private insurance plans, banning insurers from demanding you hit your deductible first and combining all out-of-pocket costs under that limit. Authored by Senator Scott Wiener, this tackles heartbreaking stories of people skipping doses or choosing between meds and rent because prices have skyrocketed. And it's disappointing to hear from patients who've had to forego treatment due to unaffordable copays. But this only covers state-regulated plans like those from Covered California, Kaiser, Anthem, Blue Shield, and HealthNet, with the cap rolling out fully by 2027 for smaller groups. Plus, California's CalRx program is rolling rolling out affordable state-branded insulin pens in 5-packs for under $55, giving folks more options to manage this chronic condition without financial ruin. Wages are climbing too, with the statewide minimum jumping to $16.50 an hour for all workers, more than double the federal $7.25 that 20 states still cling to, putting California at the forefront of fair pay, but sparking debates on business costs that could trickle down to consumers. Beyond that, gig economy drivers for ride shares like Uber and Lyft can now unionize for better bargaining power, though a compromise eases company insurance burdens for accidents. And animal lovers will cheer a statewide ban on cat declawing unless it's medically vital to avoid pain or mobility issues, joining other states in prioritizing pet welfare.
Education gets a boost with automatic admissions for qualified high schoolers to California State University campuses, slashing the application hassle so students can pick their preferred school via a streamlined online portal, though they still need to apply for the official nod. This expands on pilot programs and aims to reverse enrollment drops at underfilled campuses, keeping more talent in-state and easing stress for grads like those eyeing spots at Sac State or Cal State LA, with further growth planned for 2027. Immigration tensions boiled over in 2025, with over 220,000 arrests in California since President Trump's term began, fueling protests and National Guard deployments in hotspots like LA after high-profile ICE raids at businesses and Home Depots, where masked agents in unmarked vans sparked outrage and lawsuits from groups like the ACLU and United Farm Workers. Enter a new mask ban for law enforcement starting January 1, 2026, prohibiting face-covering gear during operations to boost transparency and reduce fear, exempting highway patrol, undercover work, or medical needs, with misdemeanor citations for violators and requirements for agencies to update policies. But critics, like the Peace Officers Research Association, warn it exposes officers to risks and personal lawsuits. Plus, the feds are suing California, arguing states can't dictate federal agent conduct amid threats they've faced, potentially seeking delays, while the state AG's office is mum so far. To support families amid these crackdowns, a new law simplifies designating temporary caregivers for kids via joint guardianship in probate court, letting parents pick trusted adults quickly if they're detained or absent, though opponents fret it's too vague and could enable misuse, preferring existing child protective services routes. But supporters see it as vital family preparedness in uncertain times. Schools aren't immune to changes either, with all public K-12 districts mandated to curb or ban student phone use by mid-2026 to cut distractions, a phased ban on ultra-processed junk foods by 2035, starting with the worst offenders to promote healthier meals, and requirements for at least one all-gender restroom per campus by July 2026 to foster inclusivity.
Tech giants face scrutiny too, as California pioneers AI safety rules for firms like Anthropic, Google, Meta, and OpenAI, demanding public disclosure of protocols to avert catastrophic misuse, like grid hacks causing over $1 billion in damages or mass casualties, plus rapid reporting of incidents, whistleblower shields, and million-dollar fines per violation. This pits the state against federal pushes for uniform standards, with Trump eyeing executive orders to nix state laws and congressional bids for moratoriums on local rules, though California's Dems and even some AI companies like Anthropic back it as a blueprint in the Fed's absence, highlighting the high-stakes tug-of-war over innovation versus safety, especially as experts debate if heavy regs could stifle progress like they did with early internet growth. Oil debates are set to ignite further, with Trump's 5-year plan opening California's offshore waters to drilling for the first time in decades, likely triggering lawsuits, while refinery closures like Phillips 66 in SoCal and Valero in the Bay Area raise fears of gas price spikes that could dominate midterm campaigns, given how fuel costs historically sway voters. Traffic safety amps up with expansions to the move-over law, requiring drivers to slow or switch lanes for any stalled vehicles, not just emergency ones, with hefty fines up to $1,000 to prevent roadside deaths, where California ranks second nationally. Advice to stay in your car if broken down, tougher probation for DUI killers, stretching to 3 to 5 years, mandatory rear red lights on all e-bikes day and night to boost visibility amid rising crashes, and easier duplicate licenses for address changes without losing the old one. Wrapping this up, these 2026 shifts touch everything from your shopping habits to school lunches, energy bills, healthcare access, worker rights, immigration responses, tax accountability, and road rules, all amid broader federal-state clashes that could reshape daily life. Whether it's banning masks on cops to demystify raids, capping insulin to save lives, or auto-admitting kids to college to streamline futures, California's lawmakers are betting big on progress. But with pushback from businesses, feds, and critics, only time will tell if these bets pay off or backfire. So stay tuned for how it all unfolds. And remember, if this breakdown helped you navigate the madness, hit like, share with a friend who's clueless about these changes, and let's discuss in the comments which law you think will make the biggest splash in your life.